Yo, yo, yo. What up, Facebook? What up, YouTube? What's going on, guys? Okay. Who do we got joining us here? Let's take a look. We have Lewis. I'm ready for that heat. Awesome. We've got Pornfit live from Australia. Prayers going out to Australia, guys. Wow. Got arson fires that are going on right now. It's just insane. I think they've already arrested 180 people that are lighting torch to Australia. Very, very sad. 500 million animals have already died from that. It's crazy. Angeline live from New York. What's going on? Arthur Early, Happy New Year, my brother. How's it going? Everything's good over here. Okay, guys, listen, I wanted to pop on here real quick, throw out a little bit of value today, to talk to you today about how to turn your adversity into opportunity, okay? How to turn your adversity into opportunity. Now, if you don't know this already, okay, in regards to the home-based business industry, whether you're in network marketing, affiliate marketing, online marketing, any type of business where there is team building involved and where there is leadership involved, okay? So any one of those business models where you're building out a global team, those two things are the most significant, the most important thing that you can really understand is that whatever it is that you think that you're marketing, it's actually not about what you think that you're marketing in the event that you ever want to get to 7 figures and higher. And this is a major misconception that people have, especially if they come from corporate America. Because in the corporate America business model, it's all about doing cold calls, booking appointments, and pitching your deal. And in our particular business model, it's not like that, guys, okay? It's a leadership business model, and it has to do with personal development, okay? Personal development. Now, I can tell you from 3 decades of data, okay? 3 decades of data, guys, on this particular topic, that the people that rise to the top the fastest are the people that have actually hit a massive breaking point in their life, okay? A massive breaking point. So, people, a lot of times they'll say to me something like, Darren, do I have to hit the very rock bottom in order to become a millionaire? Like, is it necessary? Like, do I have to lose everything? And the truth of the matter, guys, is that people that actually faced the most harshest adversities in their life, okay, whether it's a divorce, whether it's a health problem, whether it's complete bankruptcy, whether it's, a nervous breakdown, those people actually have the best opportunity to rise to the top the fastest. And I'm going to tell you why that is. We all have an ego, guys, okay? Anybody that tells you that they don't have an ego, what my millionaire mentor said to me was a clinical psychologist. He said, Darren, if anybody ever tells you that they do not have an ego, okay, run for your life because you're dealing with a psychopath, okay? We all have an ego, guys. Now, hopefully it's a healthy ego and not where you're totally consumed with yourself and you've lost the whole purpose of giving back and making a difference on the planet, okay? But we all have an ego. Now, in the event that a person is in a harsh state of their reality, so they've hit rock bottom, they're homeless, they're bankrupt, they've lost everything, okay? Or they're in some type of a reality that's completely shocked their system. That is when they will be the most coachable to actually learn something new, learn a new skill, follow the path of somebody before them. Those are the people that actually go to the top the fastest. And I can tell you that 30 years of data, guys, 30 years of data proves this to be true. typically what happens is that when people are in any type of comfort zone, they're in a state of complacency. So they don't really take action very fast. This is a true story. So they'll do it tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And before you know it, the end of the year of 2020 is gone and your whole reality has not changed. Okay. Now, why is that? Why is that, guys? First thing that you got to understand, step one, is that it's mandatory that you're on the path of personal development in the event that you ever want to get to 7 figures and higher. Okay. People typically hire myself and my business partner, Ari Maccabee, because they want to get to 7 figures and higher. So we show them exactly what we did in order to do that. So all they have to do is literally follow the bouncing ball. Right? It's like paint by numbers, right? Yellow, okay, yellow, 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 yellow. Red, okay, red, 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 red. It's like paint by numbers. But it's typically the people that are in the worst situation in their reality, that have the worst adversity going on in their life, that are the most coachable, okay? Now, in the event that you've either gone through adversity or you're going through adversity, what you got to understand here, guys, is that it actually has a purpose, and your story can motivate and inspire and lift people up and take people to the next level just by what you did to overcome whatever situation that you're in. Okay. Now, people say, well, Darren, what about somebody that's flatline homeless, right? Well, how are they going to find the money? It's not about the money, guys. Okay. It has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with your personal power. And people invest in vision. They will never, ever invest in a victim. Okay. People invest in vision. They will never, ever invest in a victim. So it's not about the money. It's about whether or not you can step into your personal power to propel yourself to the next level. We got a homeless guy that went to $20,000 a month within 6 months. Now he owns his own network marketing company. We got one guy in Mexico who's only making $160 a month. Full time. Now, how could he go find the money, but somebody that's making $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month, they can't find the money? Think about this. What's different? What's different about the person in the state of adversity than the person that's not? They're in a state of complacency, and that's what's holding them back, right? There's no sense of urgency for them to go for their dream, and they're not looking at their past timeline on what are all the things that have gone on in their life and all the situations of adversity that they've been able to overcome, that they could now use all of those stories in their vault to be able to use for their launch, to motivate other people into action. Okay, let's see who we got tuning in here. We have Dorinda. Welcome to the broadcast today. Dorinda says it's terrible. Complacency will take you out. Okay, procrastination will take you out of the game. Prayers to those impacted. Yes, in Australia, absolutely. Kieran, how are you, sir? Great to see you on the broadcast. Prayers to everyone in Australia, absolutely. I'm not too sure what Eric Madrid is, but okay. Being on the path of personal development is important. Absolutely. Sean Rigby, how are you from the UK? Great to see you on the broadcast today. Alicia is in the house. How are you? How are you? Happy New Year. We've got Justin tuning in from El Reno, Oklahoma. Welcome, welcome. People who find the money have the vision and the burning desire. This is true. Hey, Darren. Hey, Tom. How are you? How are you? Love some of your posts there, pal. I always crack up when I come across your posts. They're absolutely great. Always puts a smile on my face. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. First thing is that you have to just surrender to the fact that our particular business model, whether it's network marketing, MLM, affiliate marketing, online marketing, we are actually in the personal development industry, okay? We are in the personal development industry. And I can tell you this, okay? There's only about 10% of the human population that actually even wants more. It's shocking. It's shocking but only 10% of the human population even wants a better life. Okay. They it's bizarre. It's bizarre, but I can tell you this from working with 2 clinical psychologists, career clinical psychologists, and being in this industry for 3 decades. The only people, guys, that are your target market are people that are on the path of personal development, and they're either in a state of transition right now in their life, okay, a state of transition, or they have reached a breaking point in their life. The rest of the people will never do anything. They will never do anything. Okay. So don't try to convince people that are in 9 to 5, that are not in one of those 2 situations, either in a state of transition or a breaking point in their life, that you have a better way. Because you will be so frustrated and you will spin your wheels and waste so much time and do a lot of this butting heads with people that are just not qualified. They're just not qualified, right? So keep that in mind. Paul Gerard, how are you, sir? Great to see you here. And Paulo, how are you? Great to see you on the broadcast today. You know, what I'll share with you, if you want to be able to, fast track yourself to the top, right, is that the first thing that you've got to do is you got to put way more value on your entire vault of life stories. So look back at all the adversities that you've ever gone through. Okay, I'm talking about from the time that you were born. Okay, you may have broken your arm or broken your leg when you were a little kid. Maybe you were bullied in school, right? Maybe you fell in love at an early age and you had your heart broken. Maybe you had some sort of an illness that you dealt with over the course of your life. Maybe you lost a mom or a dad or a grandpa or a grandma. Maybe you lost your best friend in a car accident. Look back at your entire life story and all of these adversities that you've gone through in your life. And what was your strategy? What was your strategy to be able to overcome the adversity? Because that, my friends, is where the opportunity lies. That's what's going to help you become the most relatable to your audience and anybody else that is going through that type of adversity right now in their life. They can look to you almost like a mentor to be able to get through to the other side because you've already overcome it. Maybe you lost 100 pounds of weight that you shed off your body. Maybe you used to have diabetes and now you no longer do. You see what I'm saying with this? So you got to be able to sort of calibrate. I call it recalibrate and look at the reality differently to realize that you have a massive vault, right? A massive vault that's in your past that you can use through telling stories, okay? And stories are actually what become relatable to your audience. Stories, guys. Stories are what sell, okay? Features and benefits and facts about your products and everything else, that's not going to make you relatable to your audience or to your buyers, right? It's being the real you, being the real, true, authentic you, the same person that people would have a coffee with, have a dinner with, go out, hang out with. That's the person that you want to put out onto the internet. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. Don't try to put on some sort of persona. Just be the real you, okay? Because the more that you can do that, the more that you can create clones. This right here, once I'm done, will turn into a clone, right? The moment that I press end broadcast, there's a clone now that's out working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all around the world, right? To be able to put out value to the marketplace. Now, in the event, guys, that you take a look at your newsfeed, your personal newsfeed, And people can tell within half a second what company or business it is that you market. You are completely missing the boat when it comes to attraction marketing. Okay. People should be able to go to your particular wall, right, or your news feed and say, what does this person do? You should be getting messages from people saying, I don't know what it is that you do, but whatever it is, I want in. Okay. That's what attraction marketing is. So the value that you put out through your stories of overcoming adversity, that's what's going to make you relatable to your audience. Okay. Just basic life stories, guys. Maybe in a car accident that you've gone through, maybe you broke your back, right? Maybe you fell down the stairs, slipped down and fell down the stairs. And now you had a whole journey of overcoming that and getting your life back on course. I know there was that one comedian recently that was in a major car accident and he had to go through significant physical rehabilitation because he couldn't even walk, right? Now, in the event that you've gone through anything like that in your past and you're now on the other side, those stories, guys, those stories are what's going to motivate and inspire and lift other people up. Now, what good was that adversity that you went through if it doesn't change other people's lives? Think about that. Is all that pain and suffering that you went through for nothing? I don't believe that it is. I believe it has a purpose. And the purpose is that you can tell your story and you can now motivate and lift other people up. And that's why they're going to want to join your business. Okay. This is a true story, guys. It's a bizarre thing, but I'm telling you that it really has nothing to do with whatever you think that you're marketing. And it has to do with you as a human being and the value that you can provide to the people. We've got Aaron from Sydney, Australia, sending prayers out to Australia. Facebook user says, hello, brother. Fernando, how are you? Good to see you here. Andrew says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, my friend. Laura, welcome to the broadcast. How are you? Suzanne, going to have to catch the replay. Thanks for sharing. Joseph Anthony, how are you, sir? Suzanne says, yes. And Suzanne says, thanks, Darren. I understand. You know, people make this whole journey, and it really is a journey, guys, in our particular industry. And the journey is inward. It's inward, guys. Okay, it's not in the outer world. So people are looking for something on the outside, and the answers are inward. And between the reality that you're in currently right now and the inward journey, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. It's an emotional journey. You're going to probably, high probability, you're going to shed some tears from where you currently are right now to get to 7 figures and higher. You're going to shed some tears, and you're going to just have to embrace the process and trust it. You've got to realize that it's going to be a roller coaster. That's what makes life so exciting, is that journey, the journey inward, guys. That's where the personal development comes in. And that's why it's so critical that you just surrender to the process. Surrender to the process. The journey truly in this reality, which is Facebook Lives, is to just get comfortable in your naked soul. Because that's when you can have a real conversation. Your clone can now have a real conversation with your audience after the fact. You see how this works? So most people, when they're creating their value, or they're putting out their content there, they think in their mind that, first of all, their story has no value. The adversity that they went through has no value, right? But it does. This is the illusion. And that's where the money is, guys. The money is in your whole timeline. So when I talk about how to turn your adversity into opportunity, you already are a millionaire. This is the point. You're already a millionaire. You just haven't put enough value on your entire life path and what it can do to motivate and inspire and lift other people up and put them into action. You see how this works? Okay. So we've got here, what have we got? Tracy, hello, how are you? Good to see you here. Joel says, I love it, Darren. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate that. Love it, Darren. Angeline, how are you? Afia, the journey inward is mind-blowing. It truly is, guys. It truly is. Trust the process and the journey. I just came through a bad physical spot last 5 months, just being able to get back to walking. Good on you, TJ. I followed some of your content then when you were in the hospital. It was great to see you back in action. Great to see you, Darren. Happy New Year. I don't know who that is, but appreciate you tuning in. You know, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. You know, if you can take anything away from this particular message today, when you read that line, okay, how to turn your adversity into opportunity. My question to you is this: do you even put any value at all on all the adversities that you've gone through in your entire life path since the very first time you were born? Because that is where 7 figures is. It's in your past. It's in your past, guys. The gateway to your future is actually backwards. Hear what I just said. The gateway to your future is actually backwards. Guys, hopefully you got some value from today's broadcast. If you did, throw me a comment down there below. If you think somebody else can get value from this, please share it out with the people. Our true mission in this particular industry is to transform other people's lives. Other people's lives. And your story, your adversity that you have gone through can be that one little key that unlocks a whole new frontier for somebody that you've never even met before. And you can touch somebody's heart on the other side of this planet and change their life from what you've gone through. So give that some thought on today's broadcast. Kept doing my Facebook Lives no matter how much pain I was in. Awesome. It's Vic. Good to see you, Vic. Hey, Jeff Niquette. Great to see you here. Dorinda says she could write a book. Well, you probably should and start doing more Facebook Lives about your story. That would be great. Good to see. I'd love to hear some of it. Aaron says that is awesome, Darren. Appreciate that, Aaron. Thanks so much, Darren. That helps so much. Appreciate that. Great value yet again. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Darren. Carrie, appreciate you. Glad you're back. Great to be back, Rose. Good to see you on the broadcast. Great to see my friend. Best for 2020. Thanks, Vic. Thanks, brother. I love the value you give. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate you. You're speaking to me, and I believe that great dose of wisdom here. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Pornthip. I really, really appreciate you. Guys, here's a great story, okay? This is a great story right here, and I want to showcase her right here, Pornthip Molding. If you are not connected with Pornthip, you should be. She went through a massive adversity, okay? She was over $50,000 in debt trying to pursue her dream. Okay, so she got sucked into this whole thing about upgrading and buying traffic, okay, when there was these high ticket programs that are out there. And she believed that she was going to get to the promised land. She trusted that process. The unfortunate part was that the people that she was working with, they only had one goal in mind, and that was to take all her money. So she maxed out all her credit cards. She went into used up all her entire savings account, but here was the clincher. Her husband didn't know she was doing it. She thought that she had this ticket to the promised land, so she wanted to kind of do it on the side, right? And then come back with the big announcement like, whoa, look at the money that we've been able to generate from this business. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, Okay, it didn't work out that way. She lost it all. She lost it all, guys. Okay, now imagine the strain that that would put on any marriage. Okay, I don't care how short or how long that you've been married. If you take your entire savings account plus max out all your credit cards, you got some serious friction going on in the home environment. Okay, especially when both people are responsible now for the debt. Okay, now simultaneously to that, she was in a head-on collision with her entire family and almost died. Plus, she was having health problems. Plus, she found out that her mother was just diagnosed with cancer. Okay, that's where she started. Now she's just over about 2 years or so, 2.5 years in Millionaire Mentoring. She's made about $275,000, okay, with both consulting and with online marketing. I rolled out a 30-day intensive, and I think in the first 5 days she made like $6,000, $7,000. But what was different about her, guys? Think about this. When you look at the situation that she was in, she could have kept on going down the rabbit hole and playing the victim, but she didn't. She took charge. She took charge, guys. She took responsibility, and she got into Millionaire Mentoring, and her life is completely transformed. So hopefully from this porn thip, when you watch this later, you're going to be able to now look at back onto all of these things that you've been able to overcome. And that right there is going to open up a gateway to a whole springboard in your marketing in 2020 and beyond. So standing ovation here, guys. Porn Fit Molding. If you're not friends with her, you should be. You really, really should be. Sean Rigby says, great value, Darren. Thank you. Thank you so much. Melody, how are you, sir? Great to see you, young lady. Absolutely helps, Darren. Just got into a car accident. This helps. You know, one thing that I want to tell you this, guys, is that I believe that people that go through the most amount of adversity, those are the chosen ones. Those are the chosen ones. So you got to ask yourself, if you look at the things that you're going through, and you may be at wit's end, right? You know, I can tell you that this one particular situation that I personally went through when I was, you know, down and out, okay? Down and out, guys, okay? I was in a custody battle that I spent $500,000 on. It triggered, the stress triggered a health problem. I ended up on intravenous for 5 months. It was like my full-time job to go to a clinic and be on intravenous for 5-6 hours every day. And my whole world spun out of control, right? And I had to actually move back home and live with my parents because I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything, right? I couldn't even sleep at night, guys. My nervous system, my head would shake like this against my pillow, right? So I was in a very, very bad way at the time. But here's the interesting thing. Because of that situation, the whole spiral that happened, okay, I ended up going through a phenomenal, I call it a spiritual awakening. And what happened was that I got downloaded some content that now comprises of one of my training programs called Subconscious Time Travel, okay? Subconscious Time Travel, and Unleash the Alpha Within. And that training program has now transformed the lives of thousands and thousands of people all around the world. Okay. Now, would I have gotten that content if it wasn't for the adversity? I don't believe I would. Would that miracle have come into my life of something that can transform so many other people's lives if I hadn't taken a hit for the team? So keep in mind that people that face the worst adversities have the most opportunity Ari, my business partner, if you've heard his story, I mean, he was making a lot of money, and then he found out his wife had cheated on him, and his whole world spiraled right out of control. Okay, right out of control, guys. And he lost everything. He lost everything. Our stories are very, very much parallel in some of the, not exactly the same, but they're very, very parallel in a lot of ways. And I think that's one of the reasons why, we have a very, very deep business connection, because we've gone through similar adversities. Okay. Now, what happened was that he actually booked a one-way ticket to go to the Philippines to commit suicide. Okay. He had tried a bunch of times to commit suicide because he couldn't, he just, he was at wit's end. Okay. So from being in that situation, and he was making the commitment to go to the Philippines with a one-way ticket, that it was going to be there where he was going to actually commit suicide. Okay. Now, from there, he ended up meeting his wife. They have a brand new baby right now, Mirabella, and he's made 8 figures since that time. Now think about that. Would he have had the same things that blossomed in his life if it had not been for the adversity? I don't think so, guys. I don't think so. So whatever situation that you're in right now, here's Suzanne right now, and she was just in a car accident. I saw some of the pictures of her in the hospital. Realize that if you are in a situation of adversity like that, you're on the verge of your biggest breakthrough, guys. You're on the verge of your biggest breakthrough. And I can tell you that from my own experience. I can tell you that from Ari's experience. So many other leaders, you don't know their real story and the adversities that they've gone through to be able to get to 7 figures and higher. And every single one of them, unequivocally, every single one of them has a story of adversity or multiple adversities, right? I don't know if you've ever heard Tracy Walker's story, right? She was in real estate. She had houses, and she ended up losing everything, and she had to go from the bottom all the way back up to 7 figures. So don't think that because what you see now doesn't mean that people that you look up to haven't gone through the same or even worse than you're going through right now. Okay? Now, about 2.5 years ago, I want to tell this one last story. 2.5 years ago, guys, we rolled out Black Ops Underground Marketing. Okay. And I had a vision that was so clear, and of what I wanted to do to help transform the industry and flip the numbers on the failure rate. Instead of it being 97% of the people that failed, I wanted to flip that so that 97% of the people were having success, and there was only a 3% failure rate. So I rolled out Black Ops Underground Marketing. And the very first month, I did $165,000. So right after that, I booked a ticket to go to Manila to visit Ari. Okay, but I was having lower back problems. Okay, and previous to that, they had me in spinal decompression, pulling me apart because it was the lower vertebrae pressing on the sciatic nerve. So I get to Manila. Okay, we're 3 weeks into the trip, and we booked a trip to go to Boracay. And it was 4 o'clock in the morning. The Uber didn't show up. Okay. And we're panicking to get to the airport. And all of a sudden I see a cab, and I go, oh my God, this cab. And as I'm pulling my suitcase behind me, looking at the cab, the sidewalk drops 8 inches. My leg goes bam, and my vertebrae pops right into my sciatic nerve directly. Okay. And I got muscle spasms in my leg that are, excruciating, like electrical shocks going on. So we get through to Boracay. I couldn't, hardly sleep. If I was walking around and then I stopped or I sat down, my leg would go back into muscle spasms. So on the way back from Boracay, we go directly to emergency, and the guy does x-rays, the doctor does x-rays, and he goes, dude, you got a serious problem. You're going to have back surgery. I'm in a 3rd world country, guys. Flatline. Hooked up to IV. and they tell me that I'm going to have critical back surgery in a third world country. Okay. It's 24 hours to try to fly home. And they got me all wired up. I can't make the flight. Right now, in the event that I hadn't gone through that whole situation, guys, I wouldn't be able to look back on that adversity and see how it's impacted the rest of my life. You see what I'm saying here? So, okay. TJ, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Let me just see here. I want to do a quick thing. Unleash the Alpha Within. So many people empowered by that program. I appreciate that. Who else do we got here? Renee just hopping on. I'll watch the replay. Appreciate you. Tax refund. I'm finally pulling the trigger on Millionaire Mentoring. Been putting it off for far too long, 3 years now. TJ, we're happy to help you get back on the path, my friend. We're happy to help you get on the path. Thanks for sharing your story, Darren. So inspiring. Appreciate that, Suzanne. Angeline says, I've come back from adversity. Facebook user says, good to see you. Ashley Grant says 100%. Darren Little and Ari Maccabee are the real angels walking around amongst us great millionaire mentors. So do whatever it takes to work with them. I appreciate that, Pornthip. Super proud of you. You've just made so great strides. I've seen so many people that Darren has given a hand up to the top. The real deal. I'm so glad that you're here and still teaching from your heart. Guys, I'm in this for the people. Okay, I got to tell you that, it's stories like Pornthip. It's stories like Samuel Mojica Jr. that was working at the bread factory, and in the first month he made $23,000. It's stories like Jay Alfredo, who was working for $160 a month in Mexico, and he's gone on in 2 years to make over $220,000 US. Okay, it's stories like Stephen Munson, who was completely homeless, and he was living on the couch of a friend's house. By month 6, he had a $20,000 month. Now it's 5 years later, and he owns his own network marketing company, guys, called Heal. This is the power of millionaire mentoring. This is the power of understanding these principles and how your adversity is your 7-figure opportunity. Guys, my name is Darren Little from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I hope that you got value from this. Please share this out with the people so that they can get value from it too. Leave me a comment down there below if you've had some sort of shift, some mindset shift, that you're looking at the reality differently. That, my friends, is the goal of our industry, to transform other people's lives. One life, guys. One single life that you can transform. That, my friends, is what a superhero is really, truly all about. Thanks a lot for joining me on today's broadcast. And guys, 2020, let's make this the best year we have ever had. And let's go get it. Have a good one. All the best.